Stream is going to start soon. Thank you very much for joining. I'm just waiting for the subscribers and the event so that the other guys can join. We will start soon. Stay with us. Hello everyone, welcome to Motion Crafter channel. This is Motion Crafter and today we are going to do a very basic intro, and then we are going to do a city animation, Eid animation and back to school animation. So you can see here is our stream outline. First of all, we are going to do the basic intro for After Effects and AI that we can use for motion graphics. Then we are going to do a city animation. Here you can see that we will animate the buildings and you can see the poles and the trees. And then we will animate the Eid animation. That will be an intermediate animation in which you will learn how to animate this text and then these globes. And in the end, we are going to animate the back to school animation, in which you are going to learn how to animate this character and the script we are going to use to animate his tie, and the path animation, cloud animation, and in the end we will see how to use a very useful tool that is called the animation composer. So before starting out, I want to do a very quick Q&A session so that if you have any question you can ask me right now. So before starting out, I want to thank you everyone who is watching the live stream. I will animate all of these screens with you. So before starting out, if you have any question, you can comment on the YouTube in the comment box and I'll try my best to respond to your questions. So there is gonna be 4 sessions, or maybe yes, 3 sessions, and after each session I'm going to do a Q&A section so that if you have any question between those in animations, you can ask me directly. There may be a delay of 5 seconds between me speaking right here and you guys watching there. So if I not respond you can comment. Okay, we are going to do our first step, that is basic intro for the After Effects and the AI, in which I'll explain you the overall After Effects and the AI layout that you can learn with me, and you can use that thing with your own freelancing career, on job. Okay, let's start with the After Effects. After installing the After Effects, you will see this layout, and this layout is quite looking complex to you, but I'll explain this one by one to you so that the things will become easier for you. You will see these windows whenever you install and open your After Effects, and then here you can see that the After Effects is divided into these windows. On the top left, you can see that here is the project panel. Now the project panel, it actually have all the files that we are going to use in our After Effects videos. For example, if you want to import videos and the images and the vector files, you need to add those vector files into this project panel. This one is the, after you import the videos into your project panel, you will see here the preview window. We are going to do that later. So first of all, right after opening your After Effects, you need to create a composition. Now there are three methods to create the composition. You can create right here from the new composition, or you can go into the file and create a new composition from composition and then new composition, or you can just click here and then create a composition. First of all, let me drag and drop some image, or for example, let me drag this. Okay, this one is our image. I'm going to drag this down into our After Effects. Okay, now here you can see that on the project panel you can see the information of that thing that calls it is 6500 by 200 2889, and then you can see that it is .jpg. Let me import another file that would be mp4. So let's suppose I'm going to import this video file into our project panel. You can just drag and drop into the project panel. Now here you can see that the resolution size of the video, and then you can see the frame per second of the video. It's 29 frame per second. All the information can be seen here. Also here you can see the effect and controls. If you ever applied some effects on the video, that effect will be shown in this panel. Okay, right after importing the images or videos, we need to create the composition. One has been created. Let me check if stream is going good or not. Okay, everything is good. Rishabh Das has joined us. Thank you very much. You're welcome. He's saying me thank you. You're welcome, Rishabh Das. I guess there are some, I think there are some errors going on with the streaming. Let me check. Going good or not. Okay, so we are gonna do the After Effects basic introduction. Okay, now we are going to import our footage into the timeline. Now here is the timeline. You can see that the timeline is currently empty, and this one is the time indicator. If you move this indicator, you will see some changes around the preview window. So I'm going to import this footage into our timeline. Okay, now you can see that the footage has been imported. If we zoom in into the timeline, you can see that the footage has been imported. And if we move around this time indicator, you can see that the video is moving around the window panel. I'm just giving you the introduction right now. This is not exactly the tutorial. We will start the tutorial right after this basic intro. I'm just giving this intro because if anyone is the beginner in the video stream, he can learn how to use, or he can be um, use this technique to animate the things right after this basic intro. So if you move this header around, you can see that the animation is moving, and there are several properties you can apply on this layer. This one thing is called layer. If you drag some other clip over it, you can see that the another layer has been dragged upon, and the top layer will be visible around on this preview window. If I close or turn off this layer, you can see the below layer. Another thing you can do with these layers is you can scale down these layers. For that, you can press S. You can see the scale property has been turned on, and then you can bring it down to 0 to 100. Okay, the value can be 0, the value can be 80, or whatever you want. It can be 100, it can be more than 100. So whatever the specs you needed with your video, you can scale down and scale up. Another thing you can do is you can change its position from left to right, top, down. This one is for y-axis, this one is for x-axis. You can rotate this image by pressing R, and rotation will be turned on. Then you can rotate it. You can see the rotation value. Similarly, you can do this thing with another layer. We are going to use the animation technique with the rotation, with the scale, and with the position values. So in the later of this tutorial, you will see how you can use these properties with the animation. I'm just giving you the introduction. On the top, you can see that here are several tools that you can use. I'm just going to explain the tools we are going to use in this video. This one is the anchor point mover. This one is really helpful. With this, you can move this anchor point of the layer at any position. If you change this position, the overall behavior of the layer will be changed. For example, if I change its position to here and then scale down, you will see that the image is scaling up from the anchor point position. If I change the anchor point position to the left and then scale down it, you can see that the image is scaling down to its anchor point position. So the position of anchor point is really important while you're doing the animation. And then this shape, or creating mask on the layers, and then create a mask out. There are used the subtract. So in this region the image has been subtracted. In this region I know I'm I'm speaking really complex things, but I'm just giving the overall overview of these things. Then you can see that if you do not select any of these layers, you can just draw some shape above layers, and then you can see that here is the tool for creating the text. You click on this, and if you want to type something, you can type above images. So this tool is used for typing or for the text. On the right hand side, you can see the character window in which you can change the color of the text. For example, if I want red, you can see the red color of the text has been appeared. You can bring down or scale up or scale down the text length. And here are some other properties. You can test it out if you want. Then here you can see the paragraph. This one is also for the text. Then you can see the align window. For that, if you have ever used the Illustrator, this window actually align the items with the previous text to be center aligned. You will use this align horizontally and then align vertically. You can see the text has been centered to the window. Above you can see here are some panels like file, edit, composition, layer. We are not going to use these panels. The one thing you should have to know about this window panel, if you are missing something, like for example, if you do not see this align panel, you can go into the window and then make sure that this align panel has been selected. See many other windows that can be turned on and turned off. So before moving on, the stream health is really low right now, I guess, because I have been getting continuously the error that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I don't know why this is happening, but let me check the issue. I'll be right back, and after this we are going to start our first animation, the city animation. We are going to do the city animation after this, but before that let me check the problem over our video stream. Okay, so I've checked the issue. I think there is some issue in the video stream, but let me proceed to our next thing, that is to create a city animation. You can download these. You can always go into our video description, and then before moving on to our next session, if you have any question, you can always comment in the video description. I'll try my best to respond. But if still I didn't respond, you can go into the about section and you can have my. And the next thing we are going to do is city animation. That is, you can download that from freepik.com. All of the three files I have used is available on the Freepik website. You can download it from there. These files are free to use, but please make sure to give the credit to the author, because we need to give the credit to the author if you use these files. I've also linked down these files in the video description, so if you want to download these files, you can directly go to into my description and then click on those links. Okay, so first of all, we are gonna do this hospital and city building animation. I have already downloaded this file, and I'm going to open that file in our Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator. So this one is hospital city animation. You can right click on this .eps file and open it into Illustrator. Okay, after opening the file into the Illustrator, you will see that the file has been turned on, but one thing you might have to check, that we only need this layers window. This layers panel contain all other layers of this. Layer window is not turned on. You can go into the Windows panel and make sure that this layers window is checked. Now what we are going to do in the Illustrator, we do not need to design anything. We just need to separate the layers so that we can use those separated layers and animate in the After Effects. For that, you can just separate these layers one by one by just clicking on these circles. Okay, so before doing that, you must have to check that this layers window has been checked. Now you can click on any of these circles and then separate them one by one. For example, I'm going to cut this out by using the Control X or Command X, and then create a new layer and then Command Shift V. Yes, you can see that this layer has been separated from other. Now you can do this one by one, or there is another method that you can use, is click on this group and then this icon, and then this icon, and then release layers to sequence. And then you can select all these layers, drag them out of these layers. You can delete this main layer, and now you can see that all the layers has been separated. But you can see that the ambulance is positioned. For that, you can drag this to the top. This to ambulance, this to hospital. I think this one is pole. This one is house. This one is tree. This one is a building, and this one is also building. I'm just combining them. This one tree. This one is shadow, and this one is also tree or plant. I'm just renaming. We will get the renamed layers in the After Effects, so you do not need to rename this layer in the After Effects. It will make your process easy. Animation. This one also building, and this one is background, and this one is sky. It has been separated, and now we can save this file by going to the file and save as .ai. Okay, make sure AI has been selected, and from here you must have to AI has been selected. And preview that again, you can see that the whole position of this layer, and for these all buildings you can change the anchor point position. For this tree, let me drag. You can this. For these two trees, bring these two trees to the top, and this should be below the building. Okay, for this tree or the plant, its anchor point should be around here. Okay, for these buildings we have already changed. For this shadow is nothing. Floor does not need to be animated. These three trees should need to be bring to the top, and their anchor point should be changed to the bottom so that it feels like it is coming from the floor. Otherwise their animation will not look good. And for this one is around here, and I think we are okay. For the sky, background, floor, shadow, I'm going to click on this lock layer because we do not need to scale them up. For this building we have already changed. For this tree we do not need to animate that. Okay, now we are done. Now you can select all the layers, then press Ctrl V or Command V. Let me undo it and copy the key. Select all the layers, and if you is that I'm going to animate layer. So for the for the ambulance we only need to animate its position icon. For that you can and change its position value. Okay, right at the first layer or the timer icon, and around 2 seconds and around 89, and move this ambulance to the top of all layers. Now if you preview this, you can see that the ambulance is appearing, but it is appearing into the scene very slowly. So in order to make the position smoother, you can do the same thing again. Select all these keyframe, right click, go into the keyframe assistant, easy ease, go into the graph editor, and then drag this handle to the left and preview the animation again. Cool. Yes. So we are done with the first animation, very first animation. If you have any questions, you can comment in the video, YouTube video, and I'll try my best to respond. Comments. I don't know how the stream is appearing in front of you guys, but I'm really sorry for this bad health. So we have 10 minutes or 9 minutes of question answer Q&A session. If you have any questions, you can ask me. I'll try my best to respond to your questions. So I'll be back soon and stay with me. We are going to do our next animation very soon after this Q&A session, and our next animation is Eid Animation, that is requested from one of the subscribers. In this animation we will learn how to create this beautiful rotation in the background, this text animation, this Eid Mubarak text animation, and this globe. You will learn soon. So before starting this 5 minutes, if you have any question, you can ask me. I'll try my best to respond to your answers to your questions. So I'll be touching you soon. Be right back. You can drag this down to the main artwork. We are done. Press Ctrl Save, Ctrl S, and then go into the After Effect layer and see that, yes, now you can see the position value of this for this. You can see that now it's not been cut out. Okay, that's really good. We are done with this. We are done with the main setting or the AI file. Now it's time to animate these things. First of all, we will animate these globes. Okay, yellow. Change the color of the hanger to pink. It's not necessary. I'm doing this only for the ease or the header position. So let me change its anchor point to around here. For that too, let me show you. For this globe to up from this point. For that, let me change its anchor point to here. Okay. For this globe 3, it should scaled up from here, or you can scale it up from here. You can do whatever you want. So I'm going to change its anchor point to here. For globe 4, where is the globe 4? Yes, this one is globe 4. This should be appear from here, so change its anchor point position to around here. For globe 5, change its anchor point position. Okay, now the scale value we have already copied from here by using Control or Command C. You can paste all of that to these globe one by one, okay, by using Control V. We are done with the scale value, but you can see they are not on the first frame. You can drag them to the first frame of these layers. Now if you run and preview the layers, you can, they are not according to our own the original animation. You can see in the original animation that they are appearing one by one, not they are not appearing simultaneously, they are actually appearing one by one. Let me show you this again to you. Yes, okay, you can see that they are appearing one by one. So for that, what you need to do, just drag the layers forward. For example, when the globe 1 animation has been done, then this globe 2 should appear. You can press U to check its scale value, and then press U again, and then drag this to around here. When the first globe animation is almost done, globe, so that you do not confuse. Okay, when this is almost done, you can start animating globe 2. Which one was globe 2? Sorry, globe 3. Okay, we need to animate globe 3 from this globe 1. Okay, for that, bring this to the top. Let me turn off globe 2, globe 4, and okay, this globe 3 should appear when this globe 1, so this is almost completed from one. Globe 1 is animation is almost completed at here. You can drag this to the left. Yes, to point position to around here. Okay, now you can see that it is feeling like it is appearing from the globe 1. For this globe 2, change or drag this layer to around here. It is appearing from between these two globes. 4, it should appear when this globe animation has been completed. 3, so drag this to around here. You can see that, yeah, it's actually for globe 5, bring this down to around here. Yeah, again you can see that the globe animation it's really looking good. Now I'm going to do the hanger animation. Just drag them to the top of all other layers, or maybe below globe 1 and maybe globe 3. Okay, for these hanger animation, we are going to use that, change their hanger 1 anchor point position to around here. Let me check. Hanger 1 is this. Sorry, hanger 1 was that. So change its anchor point. For hanger 2, change its anchor point position to around here. Why I'm changing this? Because the rotation also act like that. Wherever the anchor point position is, it will rotate around that thing. For example, if I change, you can press R for rotation, and if you change its rotation value, you can see that you can see on the screen that it is actually rotating around its anchor point. Okay, if I change the anchor point position to around here, you can see that it will be rotating around that anchor point. So let me undo that, and again undo that. Okay, on the first keyframe or on the first frame, press R for the rotation. Change the rotation value to 0 and click this timer icon for rotation. Sorry, and then move this around to 1 second. Change their rotation value to 9, and then again to around 2 seconds. Change the rotation value to -9, then around 3 seconds change their rotation value to plus, then around 4 seconds change the rotation value to -4, then around at 5 seconds change their rotation value to around 0. Yes, 0 will work. And if you play again, you can see that the hanger will be moving. very slowly, like a equilibrium. Yeah, they're really looking good. Actually, they're looking good more than original one. So now it's time to animate the pattern on the behind. For that, they're really easy to do. You can just you can just rotate them one by one. For example, but before that, make sure their anchor point. I always, and most of my videos, I always says that the anchor point position is really important. I have started from the basic animation, then in the city animation, and now in this thing, the anchor point position is really important. So for this one, the anchor point position should be at center, because it should be rotated around its center point. Now you can see that it is rotating around its center point. Let me animate it. Press keyframe on rotation icon, move this to around 1 minute and change its rotation value to this one to one value. So if you play again, you can see that it is rotating very slowly on the behind on the background, and it is looking really sober. Do the same with other patterns. You can copy the keyframe value that you have done before, but before that you need to change their anchor point position. For this one, it should be around here. uh, you can always turn on this layer. This little circle, it only shows that specific layer. So we're done with that. For this one, the anchor point position should be at center. Now you can see that each of these layers are anchor point position is. Now just Control C to copy it, and then select all the pattern layers and then press Control V to paste it. You can always press R to check that if the rotation keyframe value is copied. Yes, it is copied. You can preview it that all the layers are rotating around their anchor point, but I think this one is not rotating. Let me check why this is happening. Yes, it's not around on its anchor point. Change its anchor point to around here. Cool. Okay, now we are done with every animation except this text animation. So I'm going to do that. For that, it is really easy to do. Right click this Eid layer, and what you need to do, right click this Eid layer, and again I think it's not visible to you guys. Let me drag this to the create shapes. Right click and go into the create, and then create shapes from vector layers. Okay, now what you can do is, let me bring this down. Also, I think we need to separate its shadow to control. After the animation, we will scale this up, but before that, just ignore this. I'll be right back here. You can ask a question in the comment box. So I'm going to end the stream very soon. Hello, I'm gonna. If you have any question, you can ask me. So we have done 3 animation today. One of them was the city animation. We have started with the city animation. I'm just rounding these things up, and then we have done the Eid animation, and this text animation. We have learned how we can rotate the pattern on the behind these globes, and we have also learned how to animate this city, and we have also learned the back to school animation. Also in the back to school animation we have learned how to, yeah, one thing was left for the back to school animation, that the tie animation. Yeah, I'm really sorry for that. Let me show you how to do the tie animation. Oh, here's the tie. Yes, here's the tie. Aha. So you can, the tie is not moving with the character. For that you can just parent that to character and see that it is animating with the character. And yeah, we need to animate the tie too. For that you can do is, okay, we have not done the tie animation. For that, let me open the, okay, now actually we have not done the tie animation, so let me show that. You can see that here is no tie because the tie layer is not turned on. You can turn on the, you can turn on the, let me please wait a while. uh, let me show you. Okay, so you can see that the tie layer is not turned on. You can turn on the tie layer, and yes, and then parent the tie layer to character. Now you can see that it is following up with the character. Cool. Other thing is that we want this tie to be wavy, like it's in the air. For that you can click on this puppet tool and add puppet point to around his neck. The second point is around in the middle and on the tip. Then go into the puppet, then mesh, and then deform. And then what you can do is you can the, or you can uncheck this timer keyframe for this neck layer, because we do not want to animate its base pinpoint. We only want to animate the tip and this middle one. So after doing that, we are done. We can just run a script, and the description, and the script is given below in the video description. Go into the file, script, run a script file, and then just run this file. I have already downloaded that script. You can also download that script and then open it out. Click on run. Now if you see, let me show you the character and tie only. You can see that if you preview it again, you can see its tie is animating. Its tie is, Okay, video has been done, and we'll see you soon in our next video stream, and maybe next week with our